So taken from GameMaker's little wiki entry here, they say that it allows an easy entry point into game design through its integrated design tools. It's simple interface, easy for people to make their own games in very little time, and it uses a simple drag and drop interface which serves as an introduction to GML, which is GameMaker's native language. I think it's a variant of C. I'm not too sure.
These days, it's usually copy-based.
Yes, correct. Cool. So, in an easier way to wrap it up, it creates, well, not really easier, this is a sort of professional term that they like to use, but it creates an event-driven, object-oriented program with a visual drag and drop interface. So the way that it functions is that it really just takes your inputs, you chuck a little bit of code in, and it gives you your output. So for example, the user presses spacebar, and the character on screen jumps. Object A collides with object B, it plays a sound effect and bounces off. Or, if the user holds down a mouse button, object C will move towards that location. Cool. So this is sort of the interface. It's a bit clunky, but it breaks down all your assets on the left-hand side there. So you've got your sprites, which are your visual assets, your sounds, your background, which are also visual, but those are more your JPEGs or your GIFs or whatever you use to create your backgrounds. Paths can be used to set your objects to follow a certain direction. Scripts are where you write your own codes and functions that aren't part of GameMaker. GameMaker has a lot of its own built-in variables and functions and all of that, which is really cool, really simple to use. In fonts, timelines are sort of things when you want to happen with a certain occurrence. And then your objects are actually where most of your stuff happens. So as you can see there's a lot of objects happening, but all of them have their own functions and properties which actually run the game. And then right at the bottom you've got your rooms, which is obviously where all your stuff actually happens. So the window that you probably will look at the most is your object properties. So for example, you set a name there for it, you choose your sprite, what you want it to look like, you can set your properties on the left-hand side, you can parent it, and then this big tab there, your events tab, that's really what happens, your sort of inputs or things that trigger your actions. So for example, what this one is highlighted there, the create event, so when that object appears on screen, the actions will happen. And further on the right there, you see they've got some there little drag and drop code, so you've got your moving, your jumping, which will jump your object, but then the one that's actually in there is a piece of code, so you can still get a hands-on with the application writing your own code, because sometimes the drag and drop stuff can just get really, really messy. Cool, so going back to what Ben was saying, GameMaker works best as a rapid prototyping tool, so it's really cool to just take an idea, quickly chuck it in GameMaker, it takes you a couple of hours, and you've got something playable and hands-on. But even saying that, GameMaker can still be used to make full-fledged commercial games. The first example is Spelunky, which was really the game that opened up my eye to what GameMaker can do. It's just a really standard platforming game. There's absolutely nothing special about it except for the amazing level design that the guys used. It's all randomly generated. Very, very clever programming in the back end, but it's just a really cool and fun game to play because it's so simple. You get the hang of it very quickly, and it's really, really unforgiving. What I wrote down here is, as it stood as a freeware game, it could still be sold as it was. It was really a top-notch game. Derek, you actually released a commercial version on Xbox and I think PC last month, but that wasn't made in GameMaker. I'm not actually sure who you used to make that.
It was made in
XMA, was it? Okay. And yeah, he ended up obviously upscaling it and hand-painting all his little characters and stuff, so it's a really cool interpretation. Cool, then I've got ZX Hyperblast, which is made by Richard Junior and Michael. Started dev 2 years ago, and they've sort of stuck around with the GameMaker engine as it's gone on. I think more out of convenience than anything. I mean that in a good way. Before anyone gets upset. But it just shows that it doesn't mean that it's a useless engine. It can still be used to do really, really cool stuff. Serious Sam around the random encounter, made by Flavio. Ben's already touched on their work. They do really, really cool stuff. I mean, it's a really cool interpretation in my eyes of taking a very well-known first-person shooter, which is just manic, and turning it into a turn-based RPG, which is just art. I think it's just really cool. I think it did fairly well. I know it's on Steam, but yeah, it just goes back to reinforcing the overall idea of how good your game is. Actually, determines how well it does. It doesn't matter really what engine you make it in, although that does help. Gunpoint's another really awesome one that came out this year. Tom Francis was an editor, I think he was editor at PC Gamer, and he just took a shot to try and make the game on his own, see how it goes. And in his little bio after making it, he just said that it cost $30 to make, and obviously everything else was time. And it's currently, I think it was in the first week being on Steam, it was one of the top 10 of being sold. So it did really, really well for a very simple but fun game. Hotline Miami, which I'm sure everyone knows, is also a really, really awesome game. But once again, it's really the story and the mood and the feel of everything that makes it so engaging. And the game is really just a really cool way to tell a story, essentially, with fun mechanics and gory violence. And then this is just another example I found, Tiki. It's just a puzzle game that came on an iPhone by the guys who made GameMaker. But it's just put all these games in here because it's all different kinds of games. You've got platformers, top-down shooters, puzzle games, and stuff like that. And then I just quickly made a pros and cons list. So, going with the pros, it's a simple interface. Once you understand how it works, it's not very difficult to remember what happens where. It's got a lot of built-in editors, so because all your files are stored in there, it's quite easy to chop and change stuff. Obviously, when you're working with Photoshop files or anything like that, it's a little more difficult because you actually have to export PNGs and all of that. For beginners, it's great for drag and drop coding. It's a cool way to learn your GML, which is basically your drag and drop coding. Plenty of built-in functions, plenty of tutorials online. There's an active community base, even though it's kind of ruled by teenagers in the States, but there's always someone who can at least help you out. They've got a lot of export modules, so PC, Mac, Android, iOS, Windows 8, and we've got Tizen, which I'm not too sure what it is, but you have to buy those. And the free version actually does allow you to use most of the program. Going on the cons, it's really not good for 3D games. It's very difficult to get that up and running. You actually end up making it more of a mission for yourself to do anything. I've got their drag and drop coding as well because they can really just turn anything into a mess if you don't move on from that. Yeah, not seen as a serious development tool. I say that in terms of a commercial thing. A lot of people really use Unity, which I've actually started using lately. It's actually very cool. But yeah, as it goes back to really the prototyping, the export ones are really expensive, and it's also difficult to get complete control over certain aspects of the engine. So, for example, GameMaker's got a built-in collision system, and if you want to build your own one, it's actually rather difficult to get out of GameMaker's built-in stuff and make your own. And then just as a side note, the reason that I'm actually speaking about this, I actually lecture Introduction to GameMaker course part-time, and I actually wanted to show you some of the prototypes that we go through in a class. I mean, we do 4-hour classes every Saturday for 5 weeks, and most of my students haven't had any knowledge of programming with GameMaker, and it's mostly been high school or just out of school kids. I'm not actually sure if Ben copied across stuff. Quickly. Cool, so in line with sort of the GameMaker tutorials, they really get you into the drag and drop code. So the first couple of classes will be really focused on understanding how programming works in general. And we started creating prototypes. So the first sort of game we made was this generic breakout game. We added a score counter, your lives, and you start understanding how collision masks work, how movement works, your input, your output, all of that. We added an end game. And then taking this prototype straight away and replacing the artwork with some final artwork that we created, it sort of just polishes up the game just to make it look a bit more presentable. So that was really just to show the students how easy and quick it is to make a quick prototype of a simple game mechanic that you want to try out. And if it goes well, obviously polish that up quite a bit. The next one, I think we did over 4 hours. We took all the arts off, I think it's Rainier's tile sets, something like that. And he just has a whole bunch of cool assets that you can use. So what we ended up making here was just a little game where you drive a little tank around, the turret follows the mouse, and you can shoot towards where the enemies are. And we sort of introduced a difficulty curve. So at first I can't continuously shoot, which makes it hard because I've got to plan what I do. But the more and more enemies you kill, the more quickly you can shoot, and the speed of the enemies speed up. So it eventually gets rather manic because the tanks just come flying at you out of nowhere. But I mean, this was built within our 4-hour class. This was actually their first introduction into using GML and physically programming the game itself. So as you can see now, all my pots are a little bit lower, but yeah. So it was that, and then those I won't really talk to, but I've got some cool student examples. First one was from my first class. I think Jason was 15 years old, and he just took a whole bunch of art and really applied the stuff that we did. Which I actually thought this game was called Going Commando because I didn't understand that it's supposed to be Going Commando. But he just took some of the art that we had and made a little platform here, little enemies that blow up and you can run around and they keep spawning. I think I gave them a week to do this. It wasn't really a proper requirement. It was just really to show me that they understood what they did. And then the other really cool one was the space game that Shabesh, another student, did. He was actually currently studying 3D at Learn 3D, and he rendered out all his game sprites using Maya. He didn't actually size his game properly, so it's a little larger than it needs to be. But yeah, he went and created all of this. Fully rendered out. I think his sprites are sitting at like 640 by 480, which is rather massive. But it was just really cool that, I mean, he rolled this out in a week, not even full time. He was studying 3D the rest of the time. So it's just really cool that, they were able to make this in such a short turnaround. And yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say about that. Any questions?
When's your next sort of round of courses starting?
We'd like to do it soon because of a lot of the students that require write the trick exams, so we try and do it before the exam. So I'm hoping in the next couple of weeks it will start.
Where can we get some more info about it?
Oh, sure. If you we're connected to the web there, but it's just learn3d.co.za/GameMaker. There's a cool info page and you can submit your details. Cool.
Why are your games such horrible people?
Why?
Your games, people who make gaming.
That's a good question. I don't know. I agree. When Studio launched, it was such a horrific mess, but it's managed to get a bit better.
It's still a horrific mess. But they actively took features out of 1.2 that were really good.
Yeah. No, I can't answer that. I didn't write it. Sure. Cool. Thanks, guys.